Is it on? Did I do it? I'm also competing for sound with my budgies. So enjoy this beautiful symphony of zoo. Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm really nervous and I'm also really excited. So big thank you to everybody over on my Instagram who gave me so much love and support. It means a lot. I'm very camera shy. So thank you for all the good vibes and hopefully you enjoy my first video. Alright, so if you are considering any kind of bird really for a pet, the absolute first thing you should know is that birds are not domesticated. Putting it out there, not domesticated. What's domesticated versus captive bred? Two different things. A domesticated animal is like a cat or a dog that's been bred in captivity for thousands of years, where their digestive systems and their way of thinking and their problem-solving skills have actually evolved with ours. Almost a symbiotic relationship, really. So that means it's mutually beneficial for both us and them. The captive bred bird is a bird that was not taken from the wild. If your bird is captive bred, either their parents were allowed to raise them, so the parents who made the eggs hatched them, or they were hand-fed by a breeder. Birds that were hand-fed and hand-raised tend to be a little bit easier to tame, and birds that were parent-raised tend to be a little bit more difficult because you have to go through that initial period where you're establishing a bond with them and establishing that you are not a predator, because to birds, humans are very much predators. Next most important thing to understand, now that you know where your bird is coming from, how long parrots live. Even a tiny lovebird that only really gets in size between 4 to 6 inches max is gonna live for up to 20 years. That is a huge investment of your time, especially when you consider the fact that the average bird has significantly more intelligence than you would expect. Even smaller birds like parrotlets and lovebirds are all incredibly intelligent, and that means that they can learn words, they can understand complex tasks. When you take on a bird, you need to understand that they do have very complex social needs that are super underestimated, and the average bird also goes through about 11 homes in their lifetime, and considering that they develop lifelong bonds in the wild and are never without their partners, that's an issue. Birds are incredibly active. Just because they're small doesn't mean they need a small cage or that you can get away with keeping them in a smaller cage. The more space your bird has, the more they're going to be able to exercise, move, explore, forage, play with their toys. You're going to have a happier bird, a healthier bird, a quieter host for you hopefully, and less chance of self-destruction down the road. So a minimum cage size for a lovebird is 18 by 18 by 18 inches, and that's the minimum. If your bird is getting regular out of cage time, if your bird is out of their cage when you're home and hanging out with you, then that's fine. But really, the minimum is, it's the minimum. They'll survive in it, but are they going to thrive? Definitely not. Spending the extra money to invest in a bigger cage is going to make a world of difference for you and your bird. All right, so in that same vein, let's talk out of cage time. Sorry, Cusco's literally chewing his way out of my aviary right now. Not into that. Speak of the devil, here's a lovebird. He's pretty fired up right now, so we'll see how long this lasts. Birds need out of cage time. Need it. Can you imagine being kept in a small human-sized bedroom your entire life, or 20 years? Not great. Birds absolutely need out of cage time. Ideally every day. Gives them a chance to exercise, to explore their surroundings. It's excellent enrichment for them. It'll tire them out. Wow. And help disperse some of the energy that they build up during the day. Kind of like when you take your dog for a walk. So for Cusco, who is my lovebird, I give him about 2 hours of out of cage time every day. On the days I'm home from work, he gets more than that. And on the days I work, I usually bring him. So it's not like he's alone. Wow. I might have to get him. I swear, it's like he knows I'm trying to be productive. So this is Cusco. He gets about 2 hours of out of cage time today. I think that's what we were talking about. Wow, budgies. That's the other thing. Having birds is loud. If you're gonna have a bird, you need to be prepared to accept that your house is gonna be loud. There's nothing, screaming, yelling, getting mad at your bird for being a bird is not gonna make them stop yelling. They're being what they're meant to be. And if that's not something that is appealing to you, or at the very least tolerable, then you probably want to reconsider what kind of animal you want as a pet, because a bird might not be for you. So let's talk toys. Your bird should have toys both in and outside the cage. For the toys inside their cage, you want to make sure they have a variety. So something they can use to forage. Foraging is something that they would do in the wild to help find their food. This is right now my guy's favorite foraging toy. It's actually a large bird size foraging pouch. So all it is this is all natural. So it's just woven. And then inside, is just little bits of paper that they can rip out and shred. Birds love to destroy stuff. He's gonna make me look like a liar. Birds love to demolish things. They like to forage, they like to tear things apart, investigate them, see what's inside in the hopes that it might be a treat. So what I actually do with this is I do stick treats kind of in the weaving here and in the paper and just wedge them in so that as they pick through and chew on stuff, they find their treats. A really favorite treat that I put in here is millet. Millet is basically bird crack. I've never met a bird who didn't want the millet. For foraging, I literally just take this and wedge it right in the hole. He knows it's there, so he's not gonna forage. But this is a great way to help keep their mind busy and give them a job. It's also pretty similar to an activity they would do in the wild, which again, with exotics is the goal. You're doing your best to replicate what they would have in the wild. My budgies also really like wood toys that they can chew and rip up, which is another reason I like this pouch, because it has this little string of plastic, beads, cardboard, and wood that they can gnaw on. And you can see, especially on these ones up here and as well as on this side, that they do tend to go pretty hard on this. I only put this in yesterday and they've already got a pretty good chunk out of it. Other toys my birds really like include this one that has all kinds of everything on it. This toy, for example, has plastic to chew on. It's got these little dongles for them to beat around. This is compressed cardboard that they can rip up, and it has the bell. So another thing you can do with your bird, now that I have Cusco's attention with some treats, is you can teach them tricks. The easiest way to do this is by finding a high value treat, which is a treat that they really enjoy, like millet, and using it to motivate them. So Cusco can somersault. He knows that I have the little millet bud now, so he knows it's time to work. Just like that. Super easy to train him. Literally all I did was hold it down here, and then eventually he figured out to go around. He can also spin, although he's not as good at that one, and it's a little harder on my hand. Here, spin. Still learning that one. And he's also learning target training, which I'm gonna cover in another video. Another really common misconception about lovebirds is that they need to have a mate. I just wanna put this out here right away and say that you absolutely should not buy a pet for your pet. If you do not want two birds, please don't buy yourself two birds, because you're gonna end up with two birds that are bonded, not paying attention to you, not as interested, and one of them you didn't even want in the first place. And that's literally double the workload for you. If you have the time to dedicate to one lovebird, by all means, stick with the one lovebird. That said, they do have very high social needs. So Cusco, when I am home, is with me pretty much the whole time. I even bring him to work on occasion. There's been times where I have needed to travel for work and have actually brought him with me. Cusco basically owns me. I'm his best friend, I'm his partner. I work hard to establish with him that I'm not his wife. If you have the time to dedicate to owning a single bird, it can be a really rewarding experience. Just make sure that you understand what you're signing up for. Nutrition. Please don't feed your bird an all-seed diet. Just don't do it. Don't be that person, okay? The amount of times that I've had to tell people at my job that they should be feeding pellets is just appalling. Why feed pellets? What's the big deal about seed? Don't they eat seed in the wild? Yes, they do eat seed in the wild. Unfortunately, it is not the seed that we carry retail. A minute ago, when I was talking about millet, this is the majority of what is in commercial bird seed. It's incredibly fatty, it's a treat, it is not meant to fill their nutritional needs, and it doesn't. What happens to birds who are on an all-seed diet is they develop fatty liver disease, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's caused by an accumulation of fat in the liver that can result in poor absorption of vitamins, obesity, lethargy, and eventually is fatal to them. This is not a rare disease, it's incredibly common, and it is inevitable if your bird is fed an all-seed diet. On the plus side, it is treatable by feeding a proper diet. pellets. I feed Lefebvre's for the most part. I do rotate between Lefebvre, Supreme, and Rowdy Bush, which are all different brands of pellets. It's because they're much more nutritionally complete. All of those nutrients, vitamins, everything is kind of compressed into one pellet, sort of like a dog or cat kibble, and it ensures that they don't get to pick through and just eat the seeds that they like. You need to also make sure that you're offering them lots of fruits and veggies so that they can forage. I feed about a third pellets, and then the rest is fruits and veggies, sprouts, all that good stuff. You just want to check and make sure that you're not feeding anything toxic like avocado, for example. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is Cusco himself. He is a Fisher's lovebird. He's in the middle of Parrot puberty right now, so you might see him trying to regurgitate onto me and head bobbing a little bit. That's what that is. We're working on it. He is 5. When I got him, he was very nutritionally deficient, so it's taken a long time for us to get to a point where he is now healthy and a good weight. When I first got him, he did have the beginning signs of fatty liver disease. He had a seizure at one point, and he was quite overweight, but he's a pretty good weight now. And really his only issue at this point is because he's so hormonal right now, he is over-preening his feathers a little bit, which can be an early sign of self-destruction and can eventually lead to plucking. So I've been working super hard on target training him, giving him better foraging options, and teaching him more tricks, just keeping his mind busy and active, and so far that seems to really be working. Alright guys, so this is the end of my first video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I keep forgetting to look at the camera. I'm filming this on my phone because I'm an amateur. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're interested in seeing more content like this, and definitely head over to my Instagram and check it out there. I've got tons of photos of Cusco and my other birds, as well as my saltwater aquarium and my crested gecko, who you can't really see because he's behind my bed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.